These little flowers are called Sweet William flowers. I was given some of these by one of my lovely customers, and then I had a request for them, so I've done them this week for you. They grow in like a little ball shape, and you just get lots of little flowers on the top, and they've got jaggedy edges and these tiny little details in the middle. The colours I've used for the outside, I've just got plain buttercream, and the pink is Pro-Gel Wine Red. And the piping tip I used for these is the GG101S, and I thought as these have arrived I'd do a little experiment and use the new generation 101S to see the difference in the petals. So I'll do this tutorial and have a little experiment. I've got my buttercream on here on an ice pack because that pesky sun's out, and I've lined the bag with some plain buttercream up the short side of the piping tip. So you've got the long end, which is always the bottom, and the shorter end at the top is what makes your petal edges. So I've lined the bag with quite a thick layer of plain buttercream and then some of this wine colour, and I've done a little bit up the centre that you can't really see. I thought it would come out more, but it hasn't. Not to worry. For the green, I've snipped about 1/2 centimetre off the end of a piping bag here, and I've got some Pro-Gel olive green in there, and I'm also going to use a little number 3 round piping tip to fill in the little gaps with some of these spiky leaves. And then for the centre of the flowers, I haven't put this one on my ice pack because I want it to be nice and soft still. I've got a number 1 round just to put in some details in the middle. So you want to crumb coat your cupcake and make a dome shape. So how high you make your dome is totally up to you. It depends how much buttercream you like. I don't like very much, so I've kept mine little, but if you want to build it up higher, you absolutely can, as long as you've got this dome shape. And I've done it in green. Now take up your green buttercream with no piping tip. You could use like a number 5 or 6 round if you want to use a piping tip. Push all the buttercream down to the bottom. Make sure your bag is nice and tight. And I'm just going to draw on here some little circles. I suppose they're about the size of a polo. That's a mint we have here in the UK, but it's quite small, and I'm going to go all the way around the edge, just making some of these bases for our flowers to sit on. Get 2 in, I think, and then pop some in the middle. There, so we've got our guide for our flowers and a little base for them to sit up on. Now, I've got the GG101S. Push all the buttercream down, make sure the bag's nice and tight, and then you've got that short bit at the top, so the long bit's at the bottom. Take up your cake and hold it at any angle that's comfortable for you so you can see what you're doing. We're going to make little petals around these circles. As I pipe them, they're teardrop shape, but I'm going to do a little bit of a jaggedy edge. So I'm going to wiggle the piping tip as I'm coming round in that teardrop shape. So angle your piping tips. I've turned it a little bit, and then I'm going to touch down on that green and jiggle. Round, stop, and come off. You've got your 1 petal, and then turn your cake, put in another one next to it, exactly the same. Turn the cake, and then just the same. Turn it, give a little jiggle, turn it again and give a little jiggle. Now the petals are not coming out that much different than they did with the metal 101. There really isn't much difference in it. I do like piping with this one though. It's nice and thin all the way along. So if you're thinking of buying some, they are nice to pipe with, but no different in this particular flower. So we'll do the next green. So just do that tiny little wiggle to get that frilly petal edge. And it doesn't matter if they overlap a little bit, they do when they're growing. So come in again and turn the cake any way you need to get your little petals on. You see each one's got roughly 5 petals on, but nobody is counting. And again, I'm turning the cake at any angle that suits me so that I can see what I'm doing. And my piping hand is always in the same place. You want to turn it to get that teardrop shape. And I've lost my white edging. If you find that your buttercream isn't sort of level and you lose your edging like I have here, you can just pipe some out onto a bit of tissue paper until you see it again. Tighten up your bag. And we'll go again. Turning that cake, and these little Sweet Williams come in all sorts of colours. Do a nice red one where you'd line it with a light colour red and fill the rest with a darker red, or you could fill these edges with light pink and do this colour. If you Google them, you'll see all the colours that they come in. And they look really nice when they're bunched all together in a bouquet. And then I'm going to come into the centre, and you'll see they're going to overlap the outside edge ones a little bit. Another one here. And then this last one, I'm going to catch my piping bag. I've got the window open and it blew my spare piping bag away. So just come on the top of these ones, overlap them, and there's all my little flowers on. Now to just fill in the gaps, I'm going to use my number 3 round and my green. Make sure your bag's nice and tight, and then I'm going to just fill in these outside gaps with some of these spiky little leaves. So you just touch down, squeeze and lift, stop and come off. And then if you see any gaps in the middle that you want to fill up, you can gently go in and add a little leaf in there. So keep turning the cake and fill in all your outside gaps, and as you turn it you can see from different angles where you might want to stick another little leaf in the middle. Maybe one looking up there. Oops. If it doesn't touch down and stick to something, it will come off. Just wipe it off and start again. And you can see I'm turning the cake whichever angle suits me so that I can see it. There's my gaps filled in with leaves. Then for the centres, I've got my number 1 round, my soft plain buttercream. Nice tight bag. And I'm just going to come into the centre and pull out some really small little stamen. So you just come into the middle, touch down, squeeze, lift, stop and come off. And I'm going to put 3 or 4 into each little centre. Again, nobody's counting, you just do as many as you need to fill up that centre. So touch, squeeze, lift, stop, come off. Some will have 4, some will have 3, and they'll all look lovely. And then in the middle, so there you go, there's some Sweet Williams using the GG101S silver and the GG101S in the new plastic. If you haven't got the new GG tips, don't worry at all. This is the original 101S. And the petals come out just as delicate and just as cute.